Hey everyone, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I'm Manda from Manda the Biblio, and today we are going over the prompts for PokeManda for July. Now, as of filming this, I have not gotten up the April to June prompts. They're up on the website, but as of filming this, that video is not up, and it should be up by the time this one goes up. But if you don't know what PokeManda is, it is a reading challenge that I created based on Pokemon. I take each Pokemon, I come up with a reading prompt and an activity prompt to go along with it, and we just try to read as many as we can throughout the year. There are 3 different versions of this that you can do. I will have the announcement linked down below so that you can get all of the information you want. I will also have the website where you can find all this information. Most of it is hosted in the Discord. That's where we kind of discuss everything. So that also will be linked down below. But this month we are going through Pokemon 74 through 85. And in case you are doing champion mode, I will go through all of them really quick and let you know which ones are part of which family in case you don't know. So first up we have Geodude, Graveler, and Golem. Those 3 are all together. Then we have Ponyta and Rapidash. Those 2 are together. Then Slowpoke and Slowbro. Again, those 2 are together. Then Magnemite and Magneton. Farfetch'd is by itself. Then we have Doduo and Dodrio. So in this video I will go over all of those Pokemon. I will go over their reading prompts and their activity prompts. Those are the normal prompts and the shiny prompts, and I will explain them a little bit if I feel that they need it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments or head on over to the Discord and you can ask there. So first up we have Geodude. So because Geodude lives in the mountains, the reading prompt, or the normal prompt, is to read a book with mountains on the cover. And then to go along with that, the shiny prompt is to go for a hike safely or use a mountain ambiance. Obviously, I know not everyone is going to want to or be able to go for a hike, so if that's something that you're not interested in or you're unable to do it, then feel free to turn on a mountain ambiance. Honestly, any of the prompts, if you can find an ambiance to go with it, feel free. So next up we have Graveler, and for the normal prompt, it is to read a book in a genre that's not your favorite, but a book that you think you'll enjoy. So there's an episode where Graveler is used to kind of show that just because a Pokemon might have a type advantage, that does not mean that they will still win the fight. It all also depends on the level. So I decided to take that and kind of turn it into a genre that you might not enjoy. So you're at a type disadvantage, but you might end up liking it. For the shiny prompt, Graveler really likes to eat rocks while he's traveling up the mountain, so enjoy your favorite food. And finally, for that family, we have Golem. For the normal prompt, you are to read a digital book. This can be an ebook, an audiobook, a webtoon, just any form of digital book. So to evolve a Graveler into a Golem, you either have to use a linking cord or you have to trade it. So you have to digitally evolve it. So I figured that reading a digital book kind of really fit that well. Now for the activity prompt, once a year, Golem sheds its skin, and during that time it's really tender until it hits the air, and then the skin gets hard again. So for this one, you're going to shed your skin and set a new goal. This can be a goal for the week, the month, the rest of the year, whatever. It could honestly be a goal for the day. Just set a goal. Now the next Pokemon is Ponyta, and easy enough, the normal prompt is to read a book with a horse or fire on the cover. If you can do both, then feel free. Now when Ponyta is born, it cannot run very well, so it continues to practice and it ends up being a very fast Pokemon. For the shiny prompt, practice something until you can get faster at it. This can be anything from reading or typing or doing a craft. Just practice something until you're faster at it. And then we have Rapidash, who is a very fast Pokemon. Rapidash is used in an episode to race. Well, it starts out as a Ponyta and then evolves into Rapidash, but the point still stands. So the reading prompt is to read a fast-paced book. I know before we had read a fast book, and that was referring to like shorter reads or just books that you can read fast. This is focused specifically on the pacing of the book. So this can be, there's a lot of action scenes, or just a lot of stuff is happening that is making the pacing really fast. I hope that makes sense. And then the kind of flip side to the last prompt, for the shiny prompt, work on something that you can do fast. So something that you're already fast at, work on that. And then we have slowpoke, and for the reading prompt, that is to read a slow book. And then for the activity, it is to have a slow morning, night, day, something. For this, it just kind of means you're not rushing to get ready for work. You're just you're waking up slowly, you're going and getting some coffee. You're not feeling rushed to get things done. So next we have slow bro. And for the normal prompt, that is to read a book in a standalone series, so a series that can be read out of order. And bonus points if you choose to read a book that is later than the one you're currently on. So if you're currently on book 1, you end up reading like book 3 or something. For that one, Shelter, when it lets go of the Slowbro's tail, it causes the Slowbro to kind of go back into a Slowpoke. So I thought that was kind of fitting-ish, if it makes sense. And then when Shelter bites a Slowpoke's tail, it turns into a Slowbro. So for the activity prompt, it is to go off on a side quest. Side quests are pretty much things where you're trying to do one task and then something happens and you just kind of go off and do something else. If you would like to do this in a video game, then feel free to do that. Or if you want to do it in real life, then you can do that. So pretty much just that random task that takes your attention away from what you're supposed to be doing, lean into that and go off onto a quest. Slowpoke turns into a Slowbro, and who knows what can happen when you go off on your side quest. And then we have Magnemite, and for the normal prompt, it is to read a book with something floating on the cover. This can be a person, an item. If you really want to stretch it because you don't really read fantasy books, you can count a cloud. Just something floating. Any book in space would count, unless they're on a planet, then technically it wouldn't, but you know. And then for the shiny prompt, it is to attract some good energy. So just whatever you need to do to kind of bring that good energy to yourself, do that. So now we have Magneton. And Magneton can send out these radio waves that end up increasing the temperature by 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit for a radius of 3,300 feet. That's a very specific thing. So the reading prompt is very specific, where you have to read a book that has a page count that ends in 3 or 6 to kind of go with that 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit. And then of course, because Magneton is 3 Magnemites kind of stuck together. They're not really stuck, but you know what I mean. The shiny prompt is to treat yourself 3 times. This does not have to be a monetary treating yourself. This could be treating yourself to a bath, treating yourself to a break, treating yourself to a fun little beverage at home. It does not need to be monetary, like you going out and buying something. So now we have Farfetch'd. So the reading prompt is to read a book where someone uses plants as a weapon. And for the shiny prompt, it is to keep trying something that you couldn't do before. So Go in the show, he was trying to catch a Farfetch'd, and the first 2 times the Farfetch'd just like swatted the ball away, and on the 3rd time he ended up catching it. So now it's your turn to catch your goal and keep doing it until you get it. You don't necessarily need to like do the thing, but just try again. Now for Doduo, the normal prompt is to either tandem read a book or immersive read a book. So that is either reading 2 books that take place at the same time together, or you can listen to an audiobook while reading the physical book. And then the shiny prompt is to work together with someone to complete something. This can be a puzzle, a project at work, a project at school. You could play a game with someone, just anything that is you working with someone to do something. If you have kids, you can bake with them. That would count. I think that would be really fun. And then finally we have Dodrio. Dodrio has 3 heads, and I learned while doing this that to get to the 3rd head, a Doduo, one of its heads splits, and that was just a fact that I felt everybody needed to know now. But unrelated to that, the normal prompt is to read a book that is by 3 authors or has 3 points of view. This has to be exactly 3 though, it cannot be more. I know this is a bit tougher because you're gonna have to like kind of research beforehand, but I know My Lady Jane in that series was written by 3 authors, so that's always an option and probably what I'm gonna end up choosing for this. But that's what I mean by like exactly 3 authors. And then the activity prompt is to participate in a race. This does not need to be an on-foot race. It can be if you would like. This could be you're going and playing a racing game. You could race yourself, race your own goals. You could race other people in reading, like a competitive readathon that's happening. You could do that. You could race against the clock to clean an area of your house. Just set a timer and try to beat it with cleaning. It does not need to be an on-foot race. But that's it for these prompts. I hope that you enjoy them. I am reaching a point where coming up with the prompts is a bit harder, but I'm having a lot of fun trying to figure it out and trying to incorporate different aspects of these Pokemon into the prompts. If you have any recommendations for future prompts, feel free to leave them down below or put them in the Discord. I'm always open to more recommendations. But I think that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments if you are participating in PokeManda, and if you're not and you just watched this video for the fun of it, I appreciate that. Let me know which prompt was your favorite or any recommendations for any of the prompts for people that might be joining. If you don't feel like chatting, feel free to leave a horse emoji down below. Make sure to subscribe if you'd like to see more from me. Give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!